to episode 128 of your CYSA Plus Prep Cast. In this episode, we explore the essential discipline of root cause analysis in cybersecurity incident response. Root cause analysis, or RCA, is a structured investigative process designed to identify the underlying factors that allow a cybersecurity incident to occur. It goes beyond surface-level symptoms and focuses on the vulnerabilities, procedural failures, human errors, or external conditions that contributed to the breach or disruption. By identifying these causes, organizations can implement corrective actions that reduce the likelihood of recurrence and strengthen their overall security posture. RCA is not merely a technical investigation. It is a cross-disciplinary effort that touches policy, training, operations, and strategy. For both certification readiness and practical cybersecurity effectiveness, mastering root cause analysis is fundamental to driving lasting security improvements. The RCA process begins with a clear definition of the incident. Analysts must document what occurred, when it was discovered, which systems were affected, and what the immediate consequences were. This definition provides the framework for further investigation. It includes incident timelines, the observed behaviors of threat actors, and a list of initial indicators of compromise. Without this foundation, root cause analysis risks being too broad or unfocused, potentially missing critical contributing factors. Once the incident is framed, analysts begin collecting and analyzing evidence. This includes examining system logs, reviewing security alerts, performing forensic disk analysis, and correlating outputs from monitoring tools. The goal is to reconstruct the timeline of the incident in detail. This timeline enables analysts to trace the attacker's path, identify points of entry, and determine how the attack unfolded. Accurate evidence collection ensures that all steps taken by the threat actor can be accounted for and analyzed. Key to this phase is identifying indicators of compromise. These indicators may include malicious file hashes, domain names used for command and control, unusual registry changes, or unauthorized privilege escalations. Documenting these technical markers helps validate the event timeline and supports further analysis of how the attacker operated. Indicators also serve as valuable data points for enhancing future detection and supporting intelligence sharing within industry communities. Cybersecurity teams often apply structured RCA methodologies to guide their investigation. These may include the 5 whys technique, where investigators repeatedly ask why an issue occurred to peel back layers of contributing causes. Another option is the Ishikawa diagram, or fishbone diagram, which visually maps categories of potential causes. Fault tree analysis is also useful for identifying conditional logic and cascading failure scenarios. These frameworks provide consistency, clarity, and depth, allowing organizations to uncover both immediate and systemic weaknesses. Root cause analysis is not performed in isolation. It requires input from multiple teams. Cybersecurity analysts must work closely with IT operations, network engineers, software developers, and business units to understand system configurations, data flows, and decision-making processes. For example, a breach may have originated from a misconfigured cloud environment, requiring collaboration with the DevOps team to trace settings, permissions, and deployment scripts. Engaging diverse stakeholders ensures a more comprehensive analysis and leads to better informed recommendations. Throughout the analysis, specific vulnerabilities, misconfigurations, or procedural failures must be identified and documented. This may include unpatched software, disabled logging, insufficient access controls, or reliance on deprecated systems. Each contributing factor should be directly tied to the incident's outcome. Linking findings to real-world impact gives weight to remediation plans and justifies security investments. Analysts must remain objective, resisting the temptation to stop at superficial conclusions or assign blame without evidence. Understanding attacker tactics, techniques, and procedures also contributes to effective root cause analysis. These patterns, often categorized using frameworks such as MITRE ATT&CK, help analysts anticipate future attacks and improve detection rules. Identifying how an attacker gained access, how they moved laterally, and how they maintained persistence provides insight into the sophistication of the threat and the organization's preparedness to defend against similar events. Human factors are another area of focus in RCA. Errors made by users, administrators, or third-party vendors are common contributors to incidents. Analysts must evaluate whether user training, policy awareness, or procedural clarity played a role in the breach. If an employee clicked on a phishing link, RCA must ask why the phishing email was not blocked and whether security awareness training had been delivered. Addressing human error requires both technical controls and behavioral insights. External influences also warrant investigation. Vulnerabilities introduced through vendor software, third-party platforms, or partner integrations can bypass internal security defenses. Analysts must determine whether external systems contributed to the breach and whether vendor relationships or supply chain processes require additional scrutiny. RCA must extend beyond the organization's walls when evidence shows the broader ecosystem played a role in the incident. Finally, all findings from the RCA process must be clearly documented. This documentation includes the timeline, indicators of compromise, investigative steps, identified causes, and supporting evidence. It should be structured, accessible, and written in language appropriate for both technical and executive stakeholders. Well-documented RCA findings support regulatory compliance, enable audit readiness, and strengthen the organization's posture in case of legal inquiries or follow-up incidents. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cybersea.me. Also, there are more security courses on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Effective root cause analysis does not stop at identifying what went wrong. It must also lead to specific recommendations that directly address the issues uncovered during the investigation. These recommendations might include technical controls, such as updating configurations, applying missing patches, or implementing additional logging. They can also involve non-technical actions like refining procedures, updating documentation, or initiating new training programs. Each recommendation should be actionable and tailored to the exact weaknesses revealed during the root cause analysis. Generalized advice is less likely to result in meaningful change. Each recommended action should have a clearly assigned owner and a deadline for completion. Assigning responsibility ensures that corrective measures are not ignored or delayed. Analysts must specify which department or individual will implement each change and how success will be evaluated. Accountability is essential for tracking progress and measuring the impact of the root cause analysis over time. Clearly defined responsibilities also support transparency during internal reviews and external audits. Findings from root cause analysis must be used to update and strengthen incident response plans. If an incident reveals that containment was delayed due to unclear escalation procedures, the response plan should be revised to address that weakness. Similarly, detection failures might prompt improvements to monitoring configurations or security information and event management rules. Integrating RCA insights into formal documentation ensures that lessons learned become part of the institutional knowledge and reduce future response delays. Well-documented lessons learned should be shared with relevant teams across the organization. These may include IT operations, development teams, compliance officers, and executive leadership. By communicating what was discovered, what changes are being made, and why those changes matter, security professionals foster a culture of learning and accountability. Lessons learned sessions should be documented in the incident report and reviewed periodically to evaluate their effectiveness in driving lasting improvements. Training programs must also reflect the outcomes of root cause analysis. If users were tricked by phishing emails, targeted awareness training should be developed. If administrative staff failed to follow password policies, role-based training and refresher sessions may be necessary. Cybersecurity education is more effective when it is informed by real incidents and tailored to address observed behaviors and knowledge gaps. RCA findings provide the most accurate data to shape those educational efforts. Once corrective actions are implemented, organizations must validate their success. This might include follow-up vulnerability scans, configuration audits, or penetration testing. Validation ensures that the intended fixes have been applied correctly and that they actually address the root causes identified. Without this step, organizations risk applying superficial or ineffective solutions that fail to prevent recurrence. Ongoing assessments confirm that the environment has been fully secured and that the recommendations have produced the desired results. RCA plays a critical role in regulatory compliance. Many regulatory frameworks require organizations to demonstrate not only that incidents are managed effectively, but also that corrective actions are documented and enforced. Regulatory bodies may request copies of RCA reports, evidence of remediation, or proof of follow-up testing. Well-structured RCA documentation and clear audit trails help fulfill these obligations and support compliance with standards such as HIPAA, GDPR, or PCI DSS. RCA findings should be clearly communicated to executive leadership. This allows leaders to understand the strategic implications of the incident, evaluate how existing risk management practices align with the reality of what occurred, and make informed decisions about resource allocation. RCA summaries presented to executives should highlight the business impact, describe the root causes in understandable terms, and present clear action items with associated costs and benefits. Informed leadership is essential to gaining support for improvements and ensuring long-term resilience. Risk management processes are directly influenced by RCA findings. Security teams should review whether the risks that led to the incident were previously documented, if they were prioritized appropriately, and how they were treated. This evaluation may lead to the reclassification of risks, the introduction of new risk categories, or the enhancement of risk assessment methodologies. RCA bridges the gap between operational response and strategic risk planning by anchoring decisions in real-world experience. Continuous improvement in RCA practices is necessary to maintain relevance and effectiveness. Security teams should periodically review the RCA process itself, evaluating how analyses are conducted, whether the methodologies used are still appropriate, and how findings are shared. Feedback from stakeholders should be incorporated to improve communication clarity and documentation standards. By refining RCA practices, organizations strengthen their ability to investigate incidents accurately, respond effectively, and grow stronger with each challenge. To summarize episode 128, root cause analysis is one of the most powerful tools in a cybersecurity professional's toolkit. It provides a structured, objective process for uncovering the conditions and decisions that lead to incidents. More importantly, it enables informed, targeted action to prevent similar events from recurring. By combining technical insights, procedural reviews, human factor analysis, and executive communication, RCA transforms incidents into opportunities for lasting security improvement. When performed thoroughly and used strategically, root cause analysis reinforces resilience, compliance, and the maturity of an organization's cybersecurity program. Thanks for listening. To learn more about cybersecurity, please visit baremetalcyber.com. There you will find best-selling books, videos, and even more free cybersecurity training courses. Please subscribe to the Prepcast and our various podcasts. And thanks for listening.